Hi, welcome everyone, and welcome to RBA Tech Small Business Monday. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn, some top strategies of how do you get that profile to sell while you're sleeping. I hope y'all are as excited as I am about this topic. My name is Lori Jennings. I am a small business owner. I own our Jennings ProSearch, which is an IT executive recruiting firm here in Richmond. I'm on the board of RBA Tech, and I'm the host of this series that I've been programming along with RBA Tech. So I want to give a big shout out to RBA Tech and thank them for all that they're doing to host these webinars for us throughout the week. All right, I want this to be very interactive. I see everybody coming up right now. I encourage you to show your video. Kim Mahan was just on there. Show your video. Want you to feel like, yay! We want this to be a networking opportunity. Please, this is interactive today. Ask a lot of questions. Use your chat box. You are able to ask a question if you want. If you want to turn off your mic, being muted, and ask a question. All right. So, again, I mentioned this is networking. The way I met our speaker today is through networking on this exact webinar. 2 weeks ago, I met Judy Fox when Andrea Goulet was my guest, and she was talking about how she was using LinkedIn to sell and how she'd used Judy to help her with her LinkedIn profile. My ears immediately picked up because I had noticed that Andrea's profile was looking really good the last 6 months and that she was making some great posts. So that's how I met Judy. I asked for an introduction afterwards, and here we are today. So I want y'all to get some paper, pen. I really encourage you to take notes because this is some stuff that you can immediately implement. I watched these slides without Judy talking through it on Friday, and I made one post. And over the weekend, I had this shared more than I've had other posts shared in a while. I had a lot of views, and I'm really excited because I saw immediately the results. All right, so that's it. I want to turn this over now to Judy. I'm going to introduce her. Then I'm going to ask her a couple questions, and then we're going to go right into her showing you some slides, some ways to use this. All right, so Judy's superpower is positioning clients online as an authority in their space, building highly engaged audiences, and getting more inbound opportunities. She hit 3 million views in 2018 on LinkedIn and has been featured in Inc.com as a top live video marketer. She's also been a speaker at Vid Summit, Social Media Week, Video Marketing World, Broadcaster Authority, Authentic Leadership Summit, and more. She has over 18 years of experience in business development and sales, and she's developed LinkedIn Accelerator Method, which she uses with her clients. That includes C-suite leaders, a presidential candidate, and rock star professionals. All right, she lives in the West End of Richmond with her 7-year-old son and Sheltie puppy. Welcome, Judy Fox. Thank you so much for being here. I know you've been really busy teaching a lot of your classes over the last few weeks. So thank you for your time today.
Yes, I'm honored to be here, and thank you, Lori, and thank you, Nick, for all of the work, and RVA Tech for hosting this. And I appreciate every single person being here. As Lori said, this is for networking. This is the power of LinkedIn is networking, so we should lean into that as much as possible. And, potentially even try to connect with each other. And I know this might be Zoom 102 level if I tell you, but there is a way to edit your name so we could actually share or go try to connect with each other on LinkedIn. So that's something that's possible, but I don't know if I'm overstepping my Zoom level there. Or we can share in the chat so we can connect with each other's LinkedIn profiles. That would be very powerful for networking if you guys are on board with that, Lori and Nick, during this time. So let's go for it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So
let me ask you a couple questions and I'm gonna turn it over because I think your background's really interesting and people on here will appreciate that.
Oh, and I just want to say thank you, Matt, for getting this started. Way to go. So he just popped his handle, the linkedin.com/in, and his address. So that's great. And thank you so much.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right. So, Judy, let's talk about your background. You graduated from Virginia Tech in 1999. You started out as a chemical engineer in the petroleum industry, and then you moved into building construction for large companies.
Yes, I've worked with Tesla, I've worked with Kraft, I've worked with some major British Petroleum. I have worked with Ashton Petroleum, who then merged and became Marathon. And so I have almost, I don't know, a long career, 18 plus years in the environmental and sustainability and engineering world. So that is a very long time. And I know I look young, but I'm in my 40s. So I must have a nice ring light on me.
That's
So.
inspirational to all of us. Yeah, you look great. I was guessing much younger. Anyway, so fast forward to today. You're a business owner, you're a professional speaker, and you're a big major influencer on LinkedIn. So talk about how you losing your job in the last recession put you on the path to owning your own business.
Yeah, so up till 2008, I was working specifically, the biggest chunk of my career was 10 years at United States Gypsum Corporation, so sheetrock, mining, manufacturing industry. I was extremely happy, loved my job, loved my coworkers, and then the 2008 housing bubble crisis hit, and overnight everything changed. So I think we can all, obviously that is not like what we're experiencing today, but we're all experiencing that overnight. Everything has literally changed for so many of us. And back then, it was in a very specific industry. It had a very hard from the 2008 crisis. So was asked to I took a leave of absence. I guess that's kind of similar to the furlough term that's being batted around, except back then they just called it a leave of absence. And ended up really, that's right when I decided, okay, I'm going to start networking to my next job. My next opportunity is not going to be found because I applied through a job board. In a tough economic climate, people hire people. People lean into knowing somebody and liking somebody, and you have to do that before you do this application online and you're just kind of one in a number of a pile. So I told myself I would never get caught ever again without that networking piece in my life. And that's why I leaned into LinkedIn. So that's how I got from starting in 2008, 2009, networking on LinkedIn, all of my direct message experience, all of my how do you get a job in a tough climate. I found a job within about 6 months of starting to network. Never applied on a job board 0 times. So
That's
because
great.
I wanted to put into that experience was just trying to network, find and talk to people. So
Great. Well,
that's why. And then I started running my own business in 2012, had my own small environmental consulting firm, and then ended up going back to work because life does not have a straight path whatsoever. Went and worked for Dominion Energy, which was a great experience. And then I realized the power of LinkedIn again when I started creating video on LinkedIn. And then that's when I hit the 3 million views in a very short amount of time. But I had been blogging and writing and creating video for about 4 years at that point.
All right, great. All right, tell us why you think LinkedIn, you kind of weave this in, but tell us why you think LinkedIn is such a powerful tool.
It's a very high social capital space. When I say social capital, I feel like when we talk about networking, you hear things like your reputation matters, your referral, your testimonials, what people say about you matter. LinkedIn is an incredible space to highlight that, the way they have their recommendations for your work ethic. People share, their bosses will share a recommendation on their profile if you have that filled out. So number one, it's a very powerful place because we tend to want to hire somebody that comes well recommended or referred, not because we can hire somebody that has the perfect resume, but if they don't have the energy and the enthusiasm for their job and the work ethic that gets in the recommendations, that can be all the difference that somebody does to say, yeah, that's the person we want to hire. So LinkedIn creates a higher level of what I call social capital.
Great. All right, well, I want us to get right into it. So I'm going to turn the screen over to you and
Yes.
go for it. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to share my screen so you guys never know. And I love if you guys pop on camera. Nice to see your faces. Thank you. And I will start sharing my screen. So let's see where, I hope I have it. It could be in the middle of my presentation, which it is. So we're going to scroll up and you guys get to see my fox ears, which is super fun. Oh, see, I got to scroll up and then click. Check that out. Okay. So I called this presentation my top LinkedIn strategies to attract clients in 2020. It could be clients or it could just be you. I have always thought of myself after the 2008, 2009 crisis. I always thought of myself as my own business, whether I was working for a company or not. I became the CEO of myself. So I've always thought my clients could be my customers, especially I know working at Dominion Energy, we had that language within our different departments for talking about our customers. Our customers necessarily weren't always external, they were internal customers, especially because I worked on the gas side of Dominion Energy. So I've never thought, ever since, like I said, 2008, everyone, even if you're looking for a job, your client is, I want to get hired by a certain company. So technically they're your client that you're trying to onboard to your business, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give you 3 LinkedIn strategies. There are a gazillion things you could do on LinkedIn, but I'm literally going to niche down into the 3. And as Lori mentioned, these 3 make a difference. And I'll show you her results from just posting about this event, which she got incredible traction on. So number 1, if you find your LinkedIn leadership voice, clients, anyone looking, if you're a real estate agent, they're looking for that. They're looking for, if you are a recruiter, your client is the people you're trying to recruit. They are attracted to leaders. They want to soak up and follow your voice if you show up as a leader. And I'm going to give you 3 ways to show up as a leader. I must have the power of 3 in my head here. Next, we're going to go over a LinkedIn profile that attracts clients. I'm going to show you Andrea's because it is a great example and she has been an amazing client. So I'm going to show you hers. And then I'm going to go over content on LinkedIn that attracts client, and hint, hint, it's not going to be what you think, because so many people get overwhelmed thinking about, I need to make a post, I need to do content. Yes, that's powerful, but there's also something else that's more powerful. The other thing I like to call LinkedIn is my business insurance. I will pay for car insurance. I will pay for health insurance. Well, I should be putting my time, my return on investment is my business insurance. If I keep my network up to date, if I stay in front, top of mind, if anyone does this type of activity, it should go in the category of business insurance versus thinking about it as like a wasted maybe cost or a wasted time. It's not wasted, I swear. The time and energy you spend investing in LinkedIn has changed my life, and I know it changes other people's lives, literally changes people's lives, because if you can network to your next opportunity faster, that's a good insurance type of energy that you've invested in over the years. And I think of it as long-term. I have my master's in business sustainability and environmental management, but the business sustainability piece is so powerful for LinkedIn. So next, you want your voice to make an impact. So many people don't want to create content that just goes out into the world and doesn't land anywhere. You want to be seen and heard. So these are the types of numbers you can get. I talked about LinkedIn just being more than a job board. I was talking about a personal story that I had where I didn't really post on social media for 4 years. When I was working at Dominion, I didn't really post. I wasn't trying to be actively posting. I kept networking in the direct messages. That's the difference between thinking about social media, whereas so many people think of LinkedIn as a job board and they think of LinkedIn as not social media. It is social, it is more than a job board, and just staying active and getting access to direct messages and conversation and being in front of people. But then you make a post like this and it can get seen and heard. Next is I made a post in the last 3 weeks because right now a lot of people are struggling with, what do I talk about? What do I post? Share what you're going through. I just shared that I've been through tough things in life, and my mindset is what I call my next right rock theory. And then I shared that on LinkedIn. So people want and say all the time, I'd love to pick your brain. If I had a nickel for every time somebody asked to pick my brain, I think many of us would be millionaires potentially. So with that concept in mind, give people access to your brain. And that's a post as an example of giving access to my mindset. Why am I where I'm at? I think even just interacting with Lori, I've been very like, I need to do the next right rock. I need to do the next right thing. Because right now we can get extremely overwhelmed with so much coming in to our lives happening right now. And right now, that's my mindset hack. It doesn't try to force on other people what they're thinking, but it allows people access to my brain. This is a great post. So Lori's in the hot seat right now. She shared this. Thank you. It has a great opening. Do you want to attract new clients on LinkedIn? See how other focused that is? I'm going to go over this in the presentation for how and why she did this. But the powerful parts of this post, which got over 2,000 views and 5 shares, and she mentioned so many more people were liking and commenting, right, Lori, is what you
Yeah,
said?
absolutely.
Yeah, so you opened up with a great opening. It's other focused. That wasn't, I want to tell you about an upcoming RVA tech event. You flip it so that other people feel like they want to attend this because it's talking about other people. If yes, join me. We love the joining energy everywhere on social media. And then finally, I love that she shares one golden nugget is a call to action. I'm going to cover that with you guys. So I am asking you to share this post. People shared. People will do the action you ask them to take. Not everyone. You have to have high intention, low expectation. You cannot expect other people to share, but you can create a high intention that people will do it. And then she tagged Andrea, she hashtagged RVA Tech, and I think it was a great post. And then I am so excited to see that even somebody took a webinar with me and their views are up 1,300. At least my view here shows 1,300% increase in views. And so I want to talk to you guys about that because it works. So what I call is my action creates clarity. So many people just get frozen, especially right now. There's a bit of a fight, flight, or freeze mode in our heads when we are faced with uncertainty. But if you can just take action on one thing, it's going to create more and more of the clarity that you need. So that's why I share the LinkedIn leadership voice, because we can all be leaders. Every single one of us. Your job title doesn't make you a leader. Your actions make you a leader. How you show up in the world makes you a leader. So you empower others to take actions. You do the actions. If you want to be a leader, instead of maybe, I don't know, venting about it, you just take the action you wish others were taking and wish others were expecting them to do. You do it. So a lot of times we see people venting on social media, but most of the time, really good leadership is not out there venting. They're out there offering solutions, offering people the actions to take. So I'm going to share, there are incredible people offering to help you. But the problem with helping is it doesn't always empower people to do something. So I'm just giving you reframing headspace for overarching messages. If you send a message out onto the platform that you're there to help, that doesn't always work. And I explain why, but like I said, empowering people language works. Next, you have an energy of somebody trying to save someone from their mistakes. Challenge the lessons you've learned from mistakes. If you've made mistakes, those are powerful ways to share your leadership and advice. Next, we have you want to be liked, be authentic. I know we've probably heard that 1,000 times, but there's a different energy that you put out when you want to just be liked and we can feel it versus you just want to be real with us. You just want to share, and not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to like your voice. And it's challenging, but lean into that kind of authentic voice. Next, nobody's perfect. 0 people are perfect. This presentation will not be perfect. Nothing will be perfect. So we want to just take action. Done is always better than perfect. And this is a great visual to share, especially because I've worked in environments where there could be potential, not necessarily, I don't know, they're more like dynamic, not sometimes almost to the toxic level of workplace environments. And most of the time, the worst like toxic environments have this helper, victim, persecutor triangle, and you're moving constantly around these triangles. And once you get stuck in one, you can kind of feel this energy getting drained. But if you switch over to this coach, creator, challenger energy, and I'm going to share what those voices look like, it changes the whole dynamic of your post. And so I'll show you what that looks like. A challenger comes across as asking curious questions. Lori opened up with a challenger question. Do you want to attract more clients in 2020? Great question. Let's explore this. I love Marie Forleo's everything is figure outable energy. So it's got that kind of, if you show up in that way, if every post you posted showed up in this way, you would win on LinkedIn. Next, you have the creator energy, giving us these action steps. Like if I want to post and I think I did post recently, commenting on LinkedIn, and I gave people action steps for why commenting is powerful. And I'm actually going to give it in this presentation, so don't have to worry about finding it on LinkedIn. But it is solution oriented, giving me, I've heard many bosses throughout my career say, there's always going to be problems. Can you come to me with some solutions and give me some action steps to what you would do? Now that boss may come back and say, I've got some tweaks to this. Maybe they don't agree with everything, but coming into LinkedIn with that energy gives us a discussion down below in the comments, and it's a powerful discussion. Nobody needs permission. You can crowdsource for guidance, you can share lessons. And finally, we have your coach energy. You are a capable go-to person as a resource. You share your top tools about Zoom, your top tip that you just learned today about LinkedIn. You go out and take actionable, accountable energy. You share your journey, you share the spotlight, you highlight an employee that you've worked with or a customer or a client. You have this kind of go-to resource energy that comes out of your content. So I'm going to go into this, but it's that what you focus on expands. So if you focus on being a challenger, getting answers to curious questions, you focus as being a creator, being solution oriented, you're going to get more solutions. If you focus as a coach, a capable go-to resource, you will get more people asking you to be a capable go-to resource. So it's this what you focus on expands energy. I learned this from my coach, and I lean into this every single day on LinkedIn. I ask myself if the post I'm about to post is going to expand what I want more of in my life, or is it going to contract and be negative? So it's not about just being outwardly positive for positive sake. It's about, what do I want more of? If I want more people to come to a webinar, then I make a post like Lori made. So that is that energy. She made a post that is going to expand the reach of this webinar. That's the energy. All right, now we're going to go into a profile that works. And my kid might be in the other room making some noise, so we're just going to hang in there, guys. Oh, Isaac, I'm on a webinar. All right, so we're going to think landing page website. And I have these downloadables. Again, nothing's perfect, but if you scroll on my website, I finally figured out how to make these as a PDF downloadable on Squarespace on my website. So you can go grab these. I'll cover that at the end. But you want to focus on what attracts your clients. On your profile, it should be built to sell, built to generate the leads. I can show you what that looks like, but it needs to be built that way, because when you show up as a leader, we want more, and we want more of whatever it is you're putting out. So if you build your profile that way, we will more likely convert to great questions, great conversations, and more opportunities. And you have to give people clear instructions. If you want people to email you, tell them to email you. If you want people to follow you on Instagram or go over, talk to you, maybe you spend time on other platforms, Facebook, you have a website. If you have a website, you have to be clear to send people to your website. So it's about clarity. So I'm going to show you Andrea. She's a great example with Corgi Bites, the CEO of Corgi Bites. And her profile looks great. She has almost 130,000 followers on LinkedIn. And at the same time, there's things that she's doing on her profile that people don't realize are not building them to sell. So we wanted her profile to convert more clients more easily. And I'll show you what that looks like. Here's the after. Ta-da! So the reason why the after is more powerful is, if you notice from the top down, it's built to sell her company and built to sell herself. Number one, you've got, it's like a billboard on the internet highway. They are literally giving you a space to highlight your company. So if she, instead of using this kind of like faded out picture that didn't sell anything, her company is let's use empathy to build better software. That brands her and her company so much better. She's now very easily highlighting herself as a keynote speaker, legacy code whisperer, and chaos calmer. We, in those three phrases, know her better than we ever did before. And our eyes as humans are built to see images before we're built to read all the words. So the fact that she's been in the New York Times, Forbes, see how much more powerful that is versus the general kind of image over there. Next, we have just making her title easier to read. Plus, we leaned into what converts. And I asked her that, and we dug into that language. And the words were tech debt into quality code. Before, she didn't necessarily have code, the word code in there. She didn't have tech debt. And there were certain words that we needed to make sure that if her ideal client searches for her, she'll get them. Because it's not just being found for transforming software, but she transforms tech debt into quality code. That's a much better description for exactly what they do. So we leaned into that. Next, we gave them action. So before, her profile just ended with, like, this is my profile. And many, many, many people end with that energy, either a key list of words or here's the end of my profile. And it's very resume-like. This should be website-like. If you want people to go do anything further in your about section, you have to end with click the links, go to my website, some call to action. You have to tell people what to do. So she says, go to corgibytes.com, read my article on first round review. And the difference here, look how many she had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 plus things we could go down the rabbit hole. That's not the goal. On a website, you want to send people to the least number of things that get people to convert to being clients. So we picked her website and a top article that converted to more clients. That allows us to make a choice between 2 versus a choice between 10, and confused audience and confused buyers don't click. They don't know what to click on, they don't know where to go, and they don't want that much decisions. They don't want that many decisions. So that limits their decisions and allows people very much clarity for where they want to go next. And she's gotten a huge increase in people clicking through to their website and reading this article, The Technical Debt. And there's her incredible review of me. It is powerful to get recommendations on LinkedIn because you can take screenshots. And then I put this on my website as testimonials. So this is powerful if you're working for yourself, or even if you're just trying to increase your energy with job searching. I tell all of my clients to, in the first week that I work with them, grab a screenshot of a testimonial that talked really highly about yourself. Because as you're going through a tough economic climate, you need to constantly remind yourself of why you're amazing. And reading somebody's testimonial about yourself is a powerful mindset hack. I'm just telling you guys this because I've been through it. So I read this and I read her review of me every single day because it makes me feel amazing. So next, I worked with Marianne Williamson. She ran for president. I don't care what your politics are. It's incredible to get a presidential client, and also somebody who, just is a mover and shaker in this world. And I posted for her. We were ramping up her account. But the goal here is to link your profile and to also run a company page. And Andrea also has a company page, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the powerful thing that I tell people is, at a minimum, if you're going to run your personal profile, one powerful thing is to take your posts and share them to your company page. So you click so here we took a post, we put it to the personal profile, and the company page shared it. So you click that share button and you share over to your company page. Now, do you have to create original content for your company page? Never. You just constantly share over to your company page. And that is just an easy way to run your personal profile and your company page and start to get some traction on LinkedIn. It's a really, really easy solution for people. And there's the same thing. So Corgi Bites, and look at the power of doing this. They've just done a couple of posts and they've already increased people clicking over to their website, a 423% increase in people clicking over. They're getting visibility. They only have 497 followers. So many people say, well, why is this powerful? It's powerful when 68 people who never were going to click on your website have now clicked on your website. And if one of these contracts is $1 million, let's pretend, wouldn't that be worth it? So I ask people, is one more eyeball, is 68 more eyeballs on your website worth it to you? And many times the answer is yes, because if one of those people turns into a client, it's powerful. Next, I'm just going to share mine. I started getting active on my company page. Same thing. I'm seeing over 1,000% increase in people seeing my posts. I am never going to turn that down. And because I was only making about one post a month, it was converting about 50 people to click over. So to my website, because there's less places for people to go. Next, we have, again, I always come from a place of, what's the word? Quotables. That's just how my brain works. Show interest in others and they will show interest in you. And let me know how I'm doing on time, because obviously I could talk about LinkedIn forever, guys. So this is that know, like, and trust factor that people talk about, but I break it down to, are they literally aware that you exist on this planet? I'm just being so blunt, because so many people are like caught up in this world of, but this and but that. I'm like, you just need to make people aware that you literally exist, because we just don't know. We do not know who we don't know. So the more you create content on LinkedIn, we'll know that you exist. And then we decide if we like you. We're going to evaluate you. We are always being judged, whether we want to be judged or not. And we're not always going to come out on the right side of being judged. Not everyone's going to like us, but that's okay. Next, people decide if they trust you. Right now, you're judging me. It's all good. I'm good with it. So people are going to figure out if they trust me, and then they purchase. That's just the know, like, and trust process. But I like to think of it as awareness, evaluation, purchase, because that's much more actionable and it's much more return on investment. People want to get to that purchase piece because it feels like trust feels too nebulous for people. So I'm going to cover quickly the types of content and then go over how to build trust, because trust leading to that purchase is very powerful. So this just helps you high level see the different types. You can comment. And the reason why commenting is a type of content is because LinkedIn shows your comment. That's how people grow. In the first 5 days I work with people, I've had people explode to 2,000. I've even had one person get 100,000% increase. That's insane, 100,000% increase. But I don't think anyone would turn 100,000% increase in views down. So next you have, I'm just going to high level, maybe you can take a screenshot of this. And so you've got comments, shares, text only, image with text, link to content off of LinkedIn. You can send people to blog posts, YouTube. It's not the end of the world to do all this. I just tell people don't just do one. Pick a strategy of about 3. Again, I keep leaning into the power of 3, but 3 is a powerful number. Lean into 3 to 5 of these types of pieces of content. There's something called a document feature where you can do a slide share, video, live video. You have to apply for live video, LinkedIn articles, and then now we are adding number 10. LinkedIn is adding stories. So if you understand the story feature on Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube, LinkedIn is adding the story feature. They are rolling it out right now. Like, I just saw the product manager make a post about it. So they are rolling this out, and it is going to be active on your profiles very, very soon. I don't know all the details with the rollout, by the way. So next we have commenting. I know I shared that as the number 1 type of content. If every single one of you started making comments tomorrow, you would see an increase in your profile. You would see changes in your LinkedIn experience, hands down. So commenting looks like this. This is one of my clients, Dee Hutchinson. She made a comment and got the attention of Ariana Huffington. with Thrive Post. So, or Thrive Global with Huffington Post. And if people don't know who Ariana Huffington, she has 9 million followers on LinkedIn. So this is the power of doing a high level, high leadership comment. And that is what I coach and teach. Well, guess who shares her post? She literally shared Dee Hutchinson's and posted it on her LinkedIn profile. So that is the power of getting the attention in the comments. That has nothing to do with Dee. I need to create a post. No, Dee needed to go out and comment. So this is where I come from. Create these high level comments and you can get the attention of Ariana Huffington. And then she gave me a shout out on Ariana's post in those 19 comments right there. She said that it's thanks to me. So that was very powerful. And then Dee just invited me on a show that had 3 million followers. So the power of amplification gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So next, this is where I lean into, if all you take from this whole presentation is to go out and learn to comment, that changes everything. So LinkedIn shows your comments to the community. You actually trigger the law of reciprocity. I can never say that word. When you show interest, they will show interest in you. There's this reciprocal networking behavior that is very strong on LinkedIn, and it's very high level. LinkedIn values your conversation. Good comments are going to lead to more people seeing your content when you make a post. Finally, this is my favorite bonus tip. Your high quality comment, because it's going to be a leadership level comment, turn that into a post. So that's what Dee did. Dee took that comment, turned it into a post, which got reshared by Ariana Huffington. That's the circle. So my comment strategy, if anyone wants to go out and pick some of their 10 people, I tell people this, it's not a final thing. It just gives people a launch off point, because some people are like, where do I start with commenting? Pick people you know. Potentially pick some future ideal clients if you know some companies you want to work with. Pick 3 of your colleagues or your peers. They don't have to be in your ideal industry. They could just be colleagues. Pick Lori, pick Nick, go out and comment. Pick RVA Tech and go comment. It increases your visibility. I swear you have to do it. Or pick me. Okay. Next, you turn your comments into your content. So that's the fastest way to get started making content on LinkedIn. It's the fastest way. So the next thing is give away golden nuggets of wisdom. So this post went to 500,000 people. It was a post I made December of 2019, and this post still gets likes and comments to this day. So going viral on LinkedIn can serve you for a very long time. Just need to let you guys know that. Plus, this post has now been shared in social media blogs, websites, podcasts. It's in 2 LinkedIn learning courses. It's gotten traction. And I know it's talking about LinkedIn, but this happens for every subject. There are journalists on LinkedIn. There are people looking for viral or large thought leadership content. So whatever your world is, you want to lean into this copy formula, because that's what Lori used. She used this formula. You want to start with the hook. What is it about other people that want to come to whatever event or whatever thing that you want to highlight? What will make them be curious and come attend? Next, you leave people on a cliffhanger to see more. You want people to read your full post. Now, trust building. If you get people to click that see more, and let me share if you can see my post. See how it has a see more over here? I don't know if you can see my circling mouse. People clicking on that see more expect to see more. If they don't see more, you lose and you erode trust. Trust decreases one time you do it, you potentially cut your views in half. So literally, I tell my clients, never do it. If you're going to trigger that see more, always provide value for other people past that see more. If you don't provide value past that see more, immediately people start to tune you out. They won't come back to your content. They won't click see more. They won't care, because it didn't show that you kind of in reverse reciprocal. So they want to see more past that see more. Next, that's in the body. You have to give away some type of golden nugget of wisdom. Maybe that's how you're handling the current economic crisis. Maybe it's a golden nugget of wisdom of how you are trying to break a habit that you've been trying to, or build a new habit. Maybe you're trying to exercise and you want to add this kind of golden nugget of wisdom you've learned. We're always learning every single day. We're always learning something new. I bet every single one of you could write down something new you learned every single day and share that as a post or as a comment. Next, call to action. Again, the power in here is asking people to do something. Maybe you want them to comment below. Maybe you want them to share their thoughts about the subject you just shared. Maybe they can help you and give you advice because you're crowdsourcing for advice. So, and then a lot of people want to know about LinkedIn video because it is a powerful platform to get seen. The organic traffic on LinkedIn video is powerful. You always want to look in the camera, like hopefully I'm looking at you guys. I do have to look at my presentation, but you want to look at the camera. So there, that's my first video. I filmed it on my first day. I was starting work with an environmental consulting firm. And I was like, I'm just gonna start making posts on LinkedIn. That's actually my first public post on LinkedIn. I made a video. I don't know why, I just wanted to make a video and I put myself out there. So looking in the camera, making it other focused. So I made my first line other people focused. That wasn't about myself, the first line. Make your goals align with your soul is a bit of a quote energy, has a bit of an intrigue. Here is my first LinkedIn video post. I was very excited, so I had a million exclamation points. I don't necessarily recommend that unless that's your vibe. It's happened to be my vibe, obviously, at that moment in time. I was very nervous. I think I was shaking. And I still did it anyway. Do it scared. So, but one thing to also notice is, so that's the text copy. See how there's that see more button, and look how much I provided past the see more. It felt like a reward for clicking the see more. Ah, she shared more. I just shared because I listened to a podcast. I listened to Danielle Laporte and Marie Forleo talking about goal setting. And I was personally feeling very burnt out from setting goals. It felt like some of the goals weren't my goals. It felt like they were corporate goals, which I get, but I started to get a sense of, I don't even have one of these goals that's mine. And I need to figure out how to rechange that. And that's a very relevant topic anyone could talk about. So one topic, you can't cover us with 30,000 things. Is goal setting a huge topic? Yes, but you just got to keep it short. Keep it about one thought and have that call to action. So my call to action was asking one question. Has anyone else ever felt burnt out with setting goals? And that created 59 comments on my first post on LinkedIn and over almost 12,000 views. And I was definitely blown away, but I implemented everything that I knew about how to write good blog posts, how to write copy, and how to engage on video. And it was a short video. It's only 1 minute and 37 seconds. We want to get to know you, but you have to earn the longer video length. If you want to talk a long time, you have to earn it. So next we have, you can check your metrics. I'm just going to cover this really quick. So a lot of people ask me, well, how do you find where people are sharing? I had JP Morgan and Chase, Wells Fargo, Accenture, Executive Director, people in Dallas watching my video, Chicago, DC. You click on the views of your video. This is on my mobile, but you can also do it on your desktop. Same thing. You click on the bold views of your video, and that's where you can see that 18 people reshared. I can click on that 18 reshares and I go like and comment on every single reshare to say thank you for sharing. At a minimum, that starts to create more of that reciprocal energy. People who share in the past are more likely to share in the future if you appreciate them. Appreciating people's time and energy for sharing, for liking, and for commenting. That becomes that energy that grows your visibility on LinkedIn. Next, we have, if people like you, they listen to you, but if they trust you, they'll do business with you, by Zig Ziglar. And that's why this is inbound messaging. So a lot of people want to talk about sales, marketing. So all of that was getting attention, becoming trustworthy. Now that converts into direct messages. That is a GIF that I made of myself waving hi, which I share to people that I just meet on LinkedIn. It's a much more high energy, high converting type of, it's my style, it's not everybody's, but even just a fun gift for your company. Maybe your company has a certain brand image and there's something fun you can do with it. We're here to have enjoyable conversations. And so the more we enjoy talking with you, the more likely we are going to want to work with you. So I share, this is my inbound. People are talking to me because I posted on social, on LinkedIn, on the newsfeed. I always enjoy seeing your posts. I wonder if you're taking on new clients. Those are what I get from my clients now. I coach them for how to follow up. My top way to follow up is write a note, then leave a voice message so people get to hear your voice. They want to talk with you. So share your calendar, share where you're, obviously, I let them know that I put a note in my calendar. I always tell my clients, make it easier as you go through your customer journey. Make it easier and easier and easier, because obviously it's progress over perfection for people to work with you. Now, it's not always easy at the beginning. You want to process through that. You want to think and put yourself in the other client's shoes, but see how I took it off their plate to tell them I was going to put it on my plate. It became my responsibility because I want them to become a client. So same thing. He just said, send me something, or this is a woman, Alex, send me something I can look at so we can talk. Thank you. Thanks for reaching out, left a voice message, and then sent them my website and sent them what I normally send as my welcome package. So now we have the outbound messages. So this is one of my current clients on March 29th this year. She just sent me this, that she's had more booked sales calls than any other week in all the time she's been running her business. So I feel like obviously what I do for the outbound direct messages, and I can start answering your questions because I know I want you to have them so we can have more conversation, but I'm just going to show you an example. I consumed the Gary Vee show. So again, this is me telling her, I do what I do for my business. I get that my business doesn't convert the same way all of your businesses do, but she's not my business. I still get her to convert. So what I'm going to show you is just an example of mine. I was watching Gary Vee. I've gotten to see him speak on stage with him. I'm all about LinkedIn. I did what's called an improv yes and. So many times we get LinkedIn direct messages where they're trying to pitch themselves and we feel a little bit confronted by what they have to say, especially if they're trying to say, hey, I can do something better that I think you're not doing well. They did not convert me. Am I running out of time, Lori?
You're good. Yeah, we're at about 12:48 now. If anybody has any questions, start putting those in because we definitely want to get to your questions. But keep going for a few
So
more
I'll
minutes.
just wrap this up and say, there's what I coach is many different psychological and sales messaging that works on LinkedIn. I go and I break down the top 10 words that convert to sales, and then I break down the words you want to completely avoid. One tip I'll give you: people don't want to learn more on LinkedIn. So many people use that phrase. Do you want to learn more? Here's my website. Learn more, learn more. The last thing people want to do is learn more. To be really blunt and honest, people feel there's a high vibe energy, a high quality client on LinkedIn. Those people don't necessarily want to learn more. They don't want to chat. They don't want to have a little like back and forth. They want to get to the point. And so even though I wrote a short message, I said, "You're welcome. That's my hello wave. It's fun to have your own gifts." And then he wrote, "Nice. How does your process work?" We got on I left some voice messages. I probably left more than I normally would leave, but I felt like he was a good connection. Then we got on a call and now he's going to work with me. So it became like, that's the process that I coach, which is a good reciprocal energy. And then also this one leaned into the improv yes and energy. So what is networking? Networking is not make a list of people, touch base with them on a regular schedule. That's not networking. We can see through a pre-written message. I don't care how much you think your pre-written message is optimized for every single human being. We can see through that pre-written message like nobody's business. You can have pre-written phrases, but we have to honor that other people are human beings that want to be seen and heard. So truly networking is when you take action, you show up an extra step. That extra step for a lot of people feels like that voice message. That's memorable. Next, connected with trusted people you know. Recommend people you know. Do not go out on the platform and start trying to do this, recommend and do all these things. You really should only be networking with and recommending that kind of people you know and trust. It does expand from that, and you should connect with and be a bit open to connecting. But there is an energy to being a trusted resource. Next, we are who we surround ourselves by. So your reputation does matter on LinkedIn, and we judge whether we want to or not. We're always judging. Finally, you merge these all things, and what you have is really networking, not just making a list of people and touching base with them. It feels kind of empty if you just say, how are you? That makes them do all the work. Now they have to figure out how to answer you in a very tough economic situation for how they're doing. That's really tough right now, just FYI. So lay off the how are you doing energy. Unless you know them. If you know them, that's different. I'm talking about networking with people you don't totally know. So actions you're going to take now. You can do that profile. You can do the cover image, check your headline, make sure it has some keywords that'll help you get found by people, and only put 2 links in that media featured section. So this should only take you 1 to 2 hours max. Again, it's not overthinking it. It's progress over perfection. You can do this now, check in on it in a couple weeks, tweak a few more things, but just hitting it and getting it done, we end up filling the time that we're given to complete something. So I always tell people, just take 1 to 2 hours, put the timer on. If you need to take 20-minute increments, but get it done. You can do it. Comment and show interest in others. Comment on me, comment on Lori, comment on Nick, comment on each other. Go connect on LinkedIn right now and comment on each other. And then maybe take a screenshot of this presentation, and you can take action and make a post. You can say one golden nugget you've learned today, whether it's this presentation or something else you learned today. Just follow that copy formula, open up with something that says that, maybe you learned commenting on LinkedIn is powerful, and that's the opening headline that you open with. Or you learned the power of joining these lunch Zoom meetings with RVA Tech, and that's what you want to open with. Or there's something else you learned. So, and then I do have these downloadable formulas on my website, the LinkedIn profile checklist that I just gave you. I give you the 8 rules of LinkedIn engagement and etiquette, but I know there's always questions, and I dive into that with my LinkedIn Business Accelerator, which is open right now. This is actually week number 1. So if you want to join, just a slight pitch there, but it's always available.
Thank you, Judy.
And there you go.
I have a question. All right.
Yes.
So Kelly Powell
I can
here.
stop the screen.
Okay. All right. So Kelly Powell asked, I'm getting a lot of LinkedIn requests that seem tone deaf with the current environment. I'm getting huge volumes of people telling me that they can help with sales, much like the you did not convert me that you described, Judy. Mm-hmm. How do we make sure that we are engaging with the right folks when they reach out? Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And that's a tough one, because the advice how do I say this? I have experienced the same thing. I am not pleased with how many people have started all of a sudden emailing me that they now care about me because they assume that I need to know how they're caring about this whole situation. And I'm like, I visited your restaurant 10 years ago one time. So there's that feeling that people are getting frantic, and they want attention, right? You can feel it. They want attention, but it doesn't feel like they care about you. They want your business. They want your attention. And the way that I deal with it is literally leaning into my mental mindset mantras, which takes my power back. I can give my attention where I want to. So what I do is I take that radical ownership of my inbox and I say, your vibe, your energy won't affect mine. That's your decision. I don't have to reply. I don't have to respond. I can mark you as spam. I can delete you. I can block you. I don't have to, you're not my ideal client. If you're coming at me with that energy, I'm sorry, but maybe we need to rethink this relationship, because there isn't much of a relationship here. So I know that's really hard, but a lot of people, when they feel that, like, what's the word, empowerment to just own the situation, I turn the situation around. And what I did, and I can share it with you guys, this is the one time I say create a standard message. I have a standard message that depending on the person, depending on how I'm feeling that day, sometimes I'm feeling a little more edgy than other days. Sometimes I've had it up to here with those messages. I have a standard message that says, thank you. And then I'm just telling you, the mindset behind this message is I get to create my boundaries for how I want people to interact with me. So I tell them my boundaries. I get to know connections better through the comments and interaction on the LinkedIn platform. Here's my last post. Here's my profile. If you want to comment or share any of my most recent posts, I would be glad to start a conversation that way. I kick them out of my direct messages. If they don't follow that, I get to decide that they did not respect my boundaries. So I either block or delete or mark them as spam. So I hope that helps somebody, because it's hard. Everyone's getting hit right now with a lot of messaging, and it's really hard. So.
Great. All right, well, we're coming close to time, so I just want to challenge everybody.
Yeah, if
Please try
anyone
to
has
make a
any more
post.
questions, you are more than welcome to send me a direct message. I obviously, as you can see, reply with voice messages. So put your earbuds in. A lot of people have asked me, well, Judy, doesn't that draw, like some clients might hate voice messages. Well, then guess what? They're probably going to hate working with me because I like to talk to my clients. So that's where the problem is. If you just own the boundaries of your business, you won't get swayed by all the people who want you to be different than how you really are. I really cannot be a different human being than Judy Fox. So.
Great. She said, Kelly said, exactly. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All
and
right.
were there any other questions?
Can I ask a quick one?
Yeah, who
Can
is
I
it?
ask it? Yeah, I don't know if I can type this quick enough, but do you have, like, how do you handle bots? So like when you get these, because for me there's like an instant trust break when I get an invite from someone I don't know, but it's sent really politely and I accept it, and then instantly I get like a sales like response, and I can tell that it's automated somehow, that they're using some sort of, do you defriend them or connect with them, or how do you handle that?
Yes. So the way I handle that, oh, sorry, we have a lot of kids happening, which kids are awesome. I have one. So, okay. And I have a puppy that is not crying. Lori, that's the win for
Yeah, I haven't
today.
heard him at all.
I know. I moved him upstairs, just FYI, guys. I have a 6-month-old puppy, which is not ideal for doing online webinars. So the way I handle that is again, that goes back to my radical ownership, that I sat down with myself and asked myself, what do I want more of? So I asked myself, I can stay connected to them if I want to. How do they serve me? So the way they serve me by me staying connected to them is they might actually know somebody that I actually potentially would want to know. So they expand my network, which is why I think I'm almost at 30,000 connections, which is obnoxious. And some people would say that's crazy. But 30,000 people allow me to get 1 degree separation from some pretty big named people or conference or anyone. I can pretty much now connect with almost anybody that I want to kind of network my way to. So the reason why I kept connections that may have spam botted me, I just think, well, they're just helping me. They're just helping my network. So I will all share it's kind of scary to do this, but there is a spam button on LinkedIn, and I just move them to my spam folder. Then I never see their messages ever again. I don't have to worry about them. And then I'm fine. So the way you do the spam button, I'm going to put somebody in the hot seat, like I don't want to share my DMs in case there's somebody in there that said something. But the way you do it is at the upper right-hand corner on your desktop, there's the 3 dots next to that person's direct message. The 3 dots, you click on it, and then there's a list of what you can do. Now, this looks scary, but it's just, for some reason, the way LinkedIn did the spam button, it's hidden. It's really deeply hidden. So you have to go under report. Now, that does not report them to LinkedIn. That doesn't actually report them. It just gives you the ability to mark it as spam. So you report it as spam, it goes over into your spam folder. You can check that there's like a little bar button with like little mover things. I don't quite know how to explain it. I can show you my inbox. I don't want to like accidentally put somebody in the hot seat though, and then they DM'd me and I mark them as spam right now. But okay, just be careful. I don't know what I'm about to see. So here is the 3 buttons, and I like this group. They're talking about Captain Crunch right now. So that's my fun group. I have a couple of fun DM chats. Oh, I can't do it in a group there. So, oh, I feel really bad. There's none. I get very few spam. So we'll put, so I'm just leaving this one. This one's very neutral. I would not mark this one as spam. For me personally, I would just go like this and archive it. So that's the archive button, just the down arrow right there. If I did think it was spam, and I don't, David, it could be spammy, but he has only sent me 2 messages. To me, that's not over the top spam. That's just, he might have a bot. To me, it's okay. He maybe knows some people that I know, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to leave it alone, and I'm going to go to report, and then you say it's spam. So I don't want to click on him as spam quite yet, but it's spam. And then you go submit. And then that puts things in your spam box. And the way you find your spam box is over here next to search messages. You can find your spam box. So that way, if somebody ends up in spam, so LinkedIn has gotten better and better and better, kind of like how our inboxes on Gmail or any other service provider. LinkedIn is starting to recognize spam that you have marked as spam. So my spam folder has messages I've never seen, which is for the win, right? So I have an inbox that I love now. So, but I have a different, like triage. If somebody has sent me an inappropriate or something that just says, how are you? I do not, if you don't know me and I don't know you, I don't reply to how are you. Just as a female to female situation, I don't reply to hi, I don't reply to how are you, I don't reply to where do you live, I don't reply to what are you doing right now, I don't reply to can I ask you a question? You already asked it. You go in my spam folder. I have never received a positive interaction after replying to any one of those messages. So just FYI from a female perspective, and I know men might get that too. So I just know because I'm a woman and that's what I get. So they go in the spam folder or I report them as scam or spam. So.
All right. Well, we're at the end of the time. So I want to really thank you, Judy. And if y'all want to get in touch with her, please do follow up. You can go to judyfox.com as well and get more information. And I challenge y'all to make a post. Share it with Judy, share it with me, share it with Nick and RVA Tech, and then you'll see the power. We can start commenting and practicing some of these techniques that Judy just shared with us. And I'm very excited.
We'll create a wave on LinkedIn.
Thanks, Judy.
Yep. Thank you,
Bye, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Judy.